I was very fortunate to apply for and get a slot at a National Endowment for the Humanities workshop in Savannah, Georgia, that was based on it was investigating the culture of the Gullah Geechee people, African Americans who live on the Georgia Low Country and the Sea Islands off the coast of Georgia and South Carolina. I've always been interested in that culture, and I'm interested in the Reconstruction period, and this was the place where the famous 40 acres and a mule promise was delivered and then taken back. So I knew that I would learn a lot of things that I could apply in my race and ethnicity course. But what turned out to be the case is that I learned things that I use in all my classes, and it's really almost changed my way of thinking. For one thing, we read a lot of books. This was the assigned reading list, and plus a bunch of stuff we had to read online. And I learned some things about family life in the 19th century that I'm going to be able to use in my marriage and family class. I always make the point about how much work it took to keep a family going in the 19th century, and certainly in years before that, but even as recently as the 19th century, and that really constrained people's options about family life. Somebody had to do the work that it took to keep a family fed and clothed and housed and clean. And one of the chapters in this book about a plantation in that area of Georgia makes that point really well, very eloquently. So I'm gonna be able to use that. The other thing that I'll be able to use in one of my other classes is just a reminder of the terrific mortality in those days. We talk about that in sociology, about something called the demographic transition, where we go from high fertility and lots of death to having very few children and living a very long time, and that just changes everything. Well, I was reminded in the book about the plantation, again, about the mortality rate. One of the characters in the story, it's a true story, died at a great age. He was in his 70s. He was buried with 3 of his wives and 14 of his children, so that he outlived 3 wives and 14 kids, and that was not that unusual in those days.